What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Saved by the Code. If you are a new listener, I deeply appreciate you. And if you are a return listener, I appreciate you just as much. Not more, not less, just as much. As usual, we got the juiciest of the juice. And I'm talking juice. And when have I not brought you the juice? I think that's a hard never. So, without any more of that mumbo jumbo silliness, that's probably not even necessary for me to say, but I say it anyways, because you gotta have some sort of intro instead of just being like, alright, Bitcoin, here we go, let's do it. Do. Let's make sure this thing's freaking working and recording. Yes, it is. Beautiful. And let's go. So, got some good stories for you. Got some El Salvador stuff. Got the good old U.S. government just ruining everything again. Good old Timmy Draper is doubling down on his $4 billion price target for Bitcoin. He's always so bullish. I love it. Robert Kiyosaki, Bitcoin ETF stuff, obviously. Our boy Craig Wright, he just won't stop. Oh, man, if you don't know who he is the biggest joke in the entire cryptocurrency space. And we'll end on that story here. Because, like I said, he is an absolute joke. He claims, just give you a little briefing, he claims to be the creator of Bitcoin, but he can't prove it, and he never has been able to, and he's been doing it for years. It's so funny. So since he can't prove it, he makes his own coin called Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. And the only reason it has a market cap is because the word Bitcoin is in the name. Otherwise, it would just be nothing, because it does nothing and no one uses it, and it's pathetic. So go home, Craig. You're drunk. Once again, Craig's at the party just getting smashed again, just too drunk. He's always doing it, and he's always like, I'm Satoshi, I invented Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, Craig, you just had a few too many again. But anyways, enough of that mumbo jumbo. Let's get into the juice. Yes, the juice. Alright, so first of all we got here is titled Top 3 Price Prediction: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Bitcoin gains strength as GBTC outflows shrink. Yes, it is believed that the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is not selling nearly as much Bitcoin as they were before. They were selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase and driving that good old price down. But the thing that amazes me is how strong Bitcoin has been holding up, even though there's all that sell pressure. And that's a lot of sell pressure. That's a lot of money. It's $100 million, hundreds of millions of dollars a day in sell pressure. And I think Bitcoin dipped down to like $38,000. And now it's sitting back up at like $44 billion for one Bitcoin. Just kidding. Yeah, it's great to see here. Besides reducing outflows, the sales are being absorbed easily, with Bitfinex whales scooping up the $39,000 Bitcoin bottom in price as they bought over 7,000 Bitcoin of spot. The absorption is also seen with growing limit bids on Coinbase. Bitcoin could restore above the 43,750 support, flipping the major ascending trend line into support. In a highly bullish case, Bitcoin price could extend all the way up to $48,000 or a neck higher to 50 grand. That's right, folks. You heard it here. Bitcoin could hit $50,000 entire trash US dollars. Yes, I said trash US dollars. That's the funny thing is because Bitcoin's price is compared to this trash currency, and it's just a matter of time before the US dollar goes to zero. It happens to every single fiat currency ever in existence, and the US dollar is absolutely no different. I mean, it doesn't take an economist to know that when you print a lot of money, the value of it's going to decrease significantly. And they've printed so much freaking money in the past couple years. Let's see how much money's been printed. How many US dollars have been printed? Have been printed in the last 5 years. Come on, let's go, baby. Load. Currency print orders. Federal Reserve Board. The Federal Reserve Board. You know they're official. You know they know what they're doing. Oh, they're just so smart and amazing. Okay, here, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is just cash. This is just physical cash. So never mind. This is useless. The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. We're so official and we know what we're doing. That's what I love. Or I think is absolutely hilarious about this world is like these big big institutions, the Federal Reserve, the this, the that, the IRS. We know what we're doing. We're experts in the field. They're all a bunch of dummies, and they don't have any idea what they're doing, and they're ruining everything that this wonderful country used to be. Absolutely destroying it. And it's because one of the big reasons as to why, the rebels came over from the UK to Plymouth Rock, which is hilarious. Plymouth Rock is literally like a pebble on a beach. It's so funny. Came over here and because they wanted a change. They wanted taxation. They didn't want taxation without representation is illegal, and the IRS does it every single year to you. They tax you without any reason. They don't have to tell you why, basically, and it's absolute horse manure. The IRS is just an extortionist mafia, by the way. And the 2% inflation rate that they stack on top of it is just another 2% that they can get. So, oh my goodness. Just another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Alright, so it looks like Grayscale is slowing down their selling. And Bitcoin's price is gonna go up. Alright. Let's move on. And I love, it's so funny too, these people that like make these price predictions. Well, John, I see Bitcoin's price, it's probably going to go up. It'll probably go up. And then when it goes up, people are like, oh my God, how did he know that? How did he, whoa, he knew it was going to go up. Well, John, I think the price could go down now. Whoa, wow, he's so amazing, he's so smart. No one has any idea what the frick they're talking about. I remember people calling in 2017, Bitcoin's gonna go to $350,000. It's gonna be amazing, oh my gosh. Went to 20,000. And I remember it was amazing. I was like, holy crap, Bitcoin went to 20 grand. I actually insanely, I don't know how, I sold at like 18,005. I don't know. I think I have like a sixth sense or something. And I could just tell that the market was, wow, okay, my fly's down. I could just tell that the market was overheated because, Johnny taxi driver was like, hey, you hear about that Bitcoin thing? I'm going to buy some. I'm like, okay, time to sell. Johnny taxi driver's talking about Bitcoin here. All right, enough of that mumbo jumbo. On to the next juice. Because, all we do here at Saved by the Code is bring you the freaking juice, and it's the juiciest of the juice. Today I'd say it's orange juice. It's orange juice. Tomorrow it could be apple juice. I don't know. It's just day by day. So, but regardless, it's juice. So, we got a presidential election going on today in El Salvador, which happened yesterday, actually. I wonder what the outcome of that was. El Salvador presidential election. Let's look up this juice. On the fly here, folks. Oh, of course. El Salvador election results delayed despite its president's declaration of victory. El Salvador embraces future with Bitcoin as Bukele secures historic victory. World's coolest dictator claims El Salvador presidential re-election. All right, so it sounds like he won. They love Bitcoin. So cool. He's being called the coolest dictator. That's great, though, for Bitcoin, because it is legal tender there. And it's going to continue to be because he got his butt reelected. Let's see if it sticks. Let's see if it stays. I hope it does. Yeah, so this is an old article. Says presidential election puts El Salvador's Bitcoin future at a crossroads. So, yep, he already got elected. Thanks a lot. Sweet. You go, El Salvador. Keep that Bitcoining down there. They want to do their volcano bonds or something like that. And regardless, it's the coolest thing in the world that there's a country where Bitcoin is legal tender. Like, what? That's so wild. Something that was conceived 15 years ago by a group or an individual that we don't even know who they are. But apparently it's Craig Wright, because, look at him. It's obviously Craig Wright. I mean, he has yet to be able to prove that he's Satoshi Nakamoto in court for 10 years now. Literally all he has to do is sign a transaction with one of the addresses, with one of the Satoshi era addresses, and yeah, that's a wrap. Absolute joke as usual, but hell yeah, El Salvador, you go. Love ya. All right, next juice for you today. The U.S. government seems to be closing in on Bitcoin mining. Oh no, what are we gonna do? It's over. Sell your Bitcoin. It's all over. The U.S. government is coming after Bitcoin. What will we do? Oh no. Bitcoin uses too much energy. We don't want it. Meh, meh, meh. Meanwhile, they make no mention of how much energy the banking sector uses with all their computers and buildings and wires and electricity and this and that and the other thing. No mention of that. No mention of gold mining. One of the most polluting activities humans do. And you just have to ask yourself, is the energy use justified? And man, oh man, I'd say that's a hard yes for Bitcoin. Enabling anybody to transfer as much value as they please over as many borders as they please. 24/7, 365 days a year, as well as store value away from any. Why did I make this so small for this video? I need to be bigger. There we go. There I am. It's just absurd. Let's see what they gotta say. Which the EIA said would incentivize more crypto mining activity, which in turn increases electricity consumption. What about washing machines there, you little whiners? What about game systems? Game systems use lots of energy. Lots of energy. And what's the justification of it? We need game systems. We're humans. We need entertainment. If we don't get entertained, we go freaking crazy. Imagine if there was no entertainment. What if there were like no movies? What if there was like no video games? Like, we'd all just be like, blah. You know, you'd be going crazy. We'd be slinging mud. Like, I'm imagining that scene in Hotly, what is it, a Monty Python, where they're in the field just like slinging mud. Like, that's what we'd be doing if we didn't have video games or entertainment. So it's a necessary form of electricity consumption. I think it's justified. However, does it provide a decentralized network, financial network, without any intermediaries that allow you to store value, to truly own something in a time where governments are coming after you and your stuff? In a lot of countries, people's bank accounts just get drained, locked out. You're screwed. Sorry, buddy. You worked all your life for that money, and it's ours now. It's gone. Goodbye. Ours now. Oh, let's see here. Let's see this nonsense. For instance, Cambridge recently revised down its estimates for Bitcoin's annual energy use, and institutions, including have put out reports arguing the network could help balance electricity grids, subsidize renewable energy development, and be useful in greening the economy. Actually, that's freaking awesome, because that's true. That's freaking true. And with regards to where did I say? Arguing that we could have balance electricity grid. What they mean by balancing electricity grids is that whenever energy is produced by whatever means, there is either too much or too little. And when there's too much, energy companies, storing energy is extremely inefficient. And these energy companies have this excess energy, and they have no one to buy it. And so they're not happy. They want money. They want to make money. We all want to make money. And so Bitcoin miners can come in and buy up all that extra energy. And the Bitcoin miners are happy. The energy companies are happy. And we're all sailing off into the sunset. Just whistling Dixie. And so it balances that out. Because when there's too much energy, it's wasted, literally. It's just like, oh, poof, gone. But Bitcoin miners can come in, scoop up that extra energy, and actually put it to use. In our eyes, apparently, to everybody else, it's just a complete and total waste of money, energy, and all that stuff, because there's no value in a decentralized financial network. I mean, please, just like, oh, it's worthless. With regards to subsidized renewable energy development and be useful in greening the economy, Bitcoin mining incentivizes cheaper energy sources. So the cheaper you can get your energy, the more money you're going to make when you mine. And so if you can have your entire Bitcoin mining operation running off of renewable energy, then you're going to be getting cheap energy and you're going to be making a lot more money. And so the Bitcoin mining industry itself, since it incentivizes cheaper energy, actually perpetuates the advancement of the renewable energy sector, because renewable energy technology needs to be improved. It does. And because it's unpredictable, and there usually needs to be fossil fuel sources of energy to step in to make up for the unpredictability of renewable energy sources, because it can be windier one day and not as windy the other day. It can be sunnier one day, it cannot be as sunny another day. And so Bitcoin mining advances the development of those technologies, because it incentivizes cheaper sources of energy. So it's cool they mentioned that in this article. But they also mentioned how Ethereum's network reduced their energy consumption by 99%, because we're so special and we're Ethereum, and proof of stake is just so amazing. You know, proof of stake just recreates the same old BS as before, because all you need to stake Ethereum is buy Ethereum. So if you have a ton of money, you can just buy a ton of Ethereum. Now you have a big stake, and you can control the network. With Bitcoin, you need a lot of money still, but you also need the computer hardware. You need the space. You need the electricity. You need all the wiring. You need the infrastructure. It takes a lot more effort and money, and you really, it's like a business. It's literally a business. You have to put together a business plan and figure this thing out. Instead, with Ethereum, here's your business plan. Buy a ton of Ethereum. There we go. We're staking Ethereum now. Oh, it reduced the energy by 99%. You know how much less secure it is? You know how much less secure Ethereum is than Bitcoin? It's just so ridiculous how people mention these things and they have no idea how they work in these ridiculous articles. But over the recent months, there has been something of a public reckoning on Bitcoin's environmental costs, particularly after the second largest network, Ethereum, reduced its energy consumption by 99% through a single upgrade. Wow, Ethereum's just so amazing. You know, I think Ethereum's really cool. It is. However, there are trade-offs. Whenever you go from proof of work to proof of stake, you reduce the security of your network by orders of magnitude. Orders of magnitude. Sure, you reduced your energy consumption, but the security of the network is now kaput. Okay? And like I said, all you have to do now is have a ton of money, buy a ton of Ethereum, and now you have a real big stake in the network, and it's centralized. It just centralizes it. It's garbage. All right, on to the next juice we got here. Don't want to go too long. Tim Draper, billionaire Tim Draper, doubles down on Bitcoin foresees a moment when people won't want dollars anymore. I already don't want dollars. He loves Bitcoin. He loves it. It would take 4 years to reach $250K. When the price of Bitcoin is $400, predicted that it would take 4 years for it to reach $250K. He admitted his prediction missed the mark because he underestimated several crucial factors. A few things I didn't expect. I didn't expect the U.S. government to be so paranoid about it. I expect the U.S. government to figure out how to tax it and figure out how to allow people to do business with Bitcoin as their base currency. And it's happened in a number of other countries, and that's why Bitcoin is doing so well. So I miscalculated on how scared the U.S. government and the U.S. government was, Draper detailed, emphasizing, and now they realize that Bitcoin's actually better for everyone. No. Duh. Thanks, Timmy. I like this guy, actually. I'm not trying to make fun of him, but it's just like, And he says here, it keeps perfect records, he elaborated, knowing that criminals who use Bitcoin were all caught, so using dollars is probably better for a criminal. Yes, US dollars is the absolute king of crime. So is art. So is gold. These things that are much more difficult to trace because they're not on a public blockchain. Why would you use a currency that literally immutably records all your transactions? Like, you can't change them, and you can see them all right there, and you can trace them and do all that stuff. Law enforcement loves Bitcoin. And it's just so silly that people also believe, oh, it's anonymous, you can buy drugs with it, and that's not. You know, people that comment on things that they know nothing about just makes me laugh. It's hilarious. You can't touch it. I can't touch it, so it has no value. That Bitcoin stuff, oh, Jesus. No, it's just ridiculous. I can't touch it. There are a lot of things that you can't touch in the year 2024 that have a lot of value. You know, your data. You know how valuable your data is? Like, that's why all of these apps are free. Facebook, Google. They take your data. They sell it to advertising companies. Make billions of dollars. And then you get all these trash advertisements on your computer. Whoa, look at that business model. But it's free. Oh, Facebook's free. I love it. Facebook's so amazing. It's a free. How do they do it? It's mind-blowing. Oh, the superficial thinking of so many people is so funny. Just think a little deeper. That's all you gotta do. Just use that, supercomputer or quantum computer that you have in between your ears. It literally is a quantum computer. It's a quantum computer. It's a quantum computer. I don't know if I said that, but it's a quantum computer. Anyways, let's move on here to the next juice. More juice, as usual, from Saved by the Code. That's what we're doing here, folks. We're getting saved by the code. Getting saved by computer code from these banksters, criminals, whatever you want to call them. Because all they want to do is take your money. And all they do is print money whenever they please. There's no checks, there's no balances. And those that are closest to the money printer benefit the most. The ones that are furthest away from it lose the most. So, just think about that for a second. Anyways, all right. Robert Kiyosaki, Bitcoin protects against theft by the Fed, government, and Wall Street bankers. Yes, it does, Robert. Thank you very much. He explains why he owns Bitcoin. The author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, has explained why he owns Bitcoin. Why I own Bitcoin? Bitcoin is protection against the theft of our wealth via our money. Yes, it is, because Bitcoin can't be printed into oblivion. There is no unchecked money printing of Bitcoin. There is only a set amount of Bitcoin that is put into circulation every 10 minutes. And there can be no more and there can be no less. And allowing computers to do that as opposed to flawed humans, it just neutralizes the entire thing. Because when people are in charge of money, they get greedy. People are greedy. That's how they are. And they're bad. There's bad people. And when they have a money printer where they can print as much money as they want, you get screwed. And they don't. Oh, cool. I got $1 million now in my pocket because I just pressed a button. How wonderful. What? It's just magic. It's amazing. Ding, 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 ding. Fed Chairman Powell, Treasury Secretary Yellen, and Wall Street bankers steal our wealth via our money, specifically via inflation, taxation, and stock price manipulation. That is why I save and invest in Bitcoin, not stocks, bonds, and fake dollars. Yes, Robert. Yes. Stick it to him, Robert. Love ya. Because that is so freaking true. The IRS is the most disgusting, horrible gang of Just terrible people. I call them the internal robbery service, the internal rape service. Because they just rob you blind. I just think about how much richer you would be if the IRS didn't exist. Just how much more money you and your family could have. It would be a beautiful thing. And then the inflation, extra 2%. We'll take another 2%. But inflation's good. It's good. They tell us it's so good for us. It's not good. It's another added extra 2% to be put into their pockets after they tax the absolute hell out of you. We're going to take another 2%, okay? And you can't do anything about it, all right? So, bye, have a nice day. You know, it's absurd. The acclaimed author consistently cautioned against the negative impact of the Federal Reserve, the Biden administration, and Wall Street bankers on the U.S. economy, the U.S. dollar, the American populace. He calls fiat money fake money and has repeatedly warned about the demise of the U.S. dollar. In contrast, he calls Bitcoin people's money while gold and silver are God's money. Yep. And then he says, quote, here, America is finished. You're damn right there, buddy. You're damn right. What did he say here? Slammed the U.S. courts as specifically taking issue with the judge presiding over former U.S. Donald Trump's trial. He expressed concern about the judge's dual role as both a prosecutor and a judge. If the judge is prosecuting attorney and the presiding judge, then the judge presides over a kangaroo court. America is finished if our courts are for kangaroos. Oh. It's so bad. We're going down, unfortunately. I try to be positive, but you know what? You gotta be realistic. It's called being realistic. Folks, buy that Bitcoin. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your wealth. Not financial advice, by the way. Just saying. Buy that Bitcoin, baby. This is why it exists. Why it even became a thing is because of how disgusting 2007 was. Does anyone even remember that? 2007, 2008? It's just like a distant memory. Oh, we all just got raped because of these mortgage-backed securities and how so many people lost their homes. And guess who paid for it? Now you guys have to pay for it, even though we are the ones that effed up. So give us our money now, thank you. And let's move on now. Let's all forget this happened, okay? Okay, we're going to take your house now, and we're going to take your money now, okay? And yes, it was our fault, but you're going to pay for it. Literally what happened. That's the world we live in. Thanks. A Bitcoin ETF will never be your Bitcoin. Yes, this is totally true. This is the next juice, by the way. More juice, as usual. What do you expect? I bring the juice. I got all the juice for you, folks. Juice on juice on juice. I'm sorry, I'll stop. I'll stop with the juice talk. I can't help myself. All right. Yeah, it's true. When you buy a Bitcoin ETF, you're not buying Bitcoin. You're just getting exposure to Bitcoin's price appreciation or depreciation. I always advise people to actually buy real Bitcoin and cold store it, because this whole ETF thing really just defeats the purpose of Bitcoin, because it's meant to be something that you can truly own, that is unconfiscatable by any government, anybody at all. You can literally store Bitcoin in your brain. So that means you can move as much money as you want across as many borders as you want in your brain, technically speaking. No one's going to do that, but you can do that. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. You can't do that with gold. You can't do that with US dollars. You can't shove US dollars in your brain. You can't shove gold in your brain. You can't do that with your bank account, because you're going to get to the other country and they're going to be like, well, what's your bank account number? And they'll have to convert it to their stupid fiat currency that's trash and probably inflates 100% a day or some crap. Just a joke. Absolute total freaking joke. But yeah, you don't really own Bitcoin if you buy an ETF. You gotta buy actual Bitcoin, which is so easy to do. So many people make it out to be so difficult. Like, you sign up for an exchange, which means you enter your personal information, email, name, address, take a picture of your ID. So hard. How do I do that? And then guess what you do? You connect your bank account. Oh my god, it's so hard. It's so easy. You connect your bank account, and then guess what you do? You go to the coin you want to buy. How do I do that though? Click here. Oh, Ethereum. Oh, XRP. Oh, Cardano. Oh, Bitcoin. Okay, I want to buy Bitcoin. Click. And then all these numbers will pop up and be like, oh my god, there's so many numbers. What do I do? And then you'll see over on the right, it'll say buy. It'll also say sell. Guess what you press when you want to buy Bitcoin? You press buy. And then guess what? You just bought Bitcoin. And then guess what you do? You get a ledger device. You set it up, which has the clearest instructions on the face of the planet. Literally, a monkey with no eyes could do it. An autistic monkey without any eyes could set up a ledger. And then, guess what you do? You copy, paste your Bitcoin address from that ledger into your Coinbase, and you press send, and you're done. There you go. You bought Bitcoin and you cold stored it. Congratulations. I bet you've done more complicated things than that in your life. It's just so funny how complicated people think. Like, have you ever tried to send a wire transfer, all the crap you have to put in? We're going to need this, we're going to need that, we're going to need your blood type, we're going to need the last time you took a poop, we're going to need you to do a backflip. We're going to need you to do this and that and enter all these numbers, and you can't do it on weekends, and you can't send more than this, and you can't do this and that and this and blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, it's just so much easier than sending a wire transfer. It's absurd. You literally copy, paste, and you press send. That's it, and it's done. It's finalized. It'll be there in an hour. So, anyways, I'm sorry. I got really, really mad there. I got so angry, I almost just... I need to chill. I need to chill for a sec. I got really mad there. All right, last story here. Last juice of the day. We got our boy, Wright. Gregory. I don't think that's his name, but I want to call him that. Craig Wright claims to be he's Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. Can he prove it in court? He's been trying to prove this in court for so long. It's hysterical. And he hasn't been able to do it at all. He can't do it because he's not Satoshi. I think that's what it comes down to. He's been trying to do it for so long. Oh, I love this quote. Satoshi's greatest gift to the world was Bitcoin. His second greatest gift was to disappear. So beautifully, perfectly said. And this guy who claims to be Satoshi just needs to go home because he's too drunk. Go home, Craig. You're too drunk again. Don't come back to the party ever again. No one likes you. He's that guy that he drinks too much at the party, and he just gets out of control, and he thinks he's the man, and he starts saying he's Satoshi, and then he invented Bitcoin, and everyone's like, go home, Craig. You're drunk. You're drunk. So yeah, he's been trying to prove it for so long. Yeah. So Satoshi disappeared, and I believe in that quote at the end that is just incredible. It's so good that we don't have a figurehead for Bitcoin, because if we did, it wouldn't be neutral money. You know, like with Ethereum, you got Vitalik Buterin, who can influence, you know, the price of things, and he just has too much influence, you know. And so it's so good that Bitcoin doesn't have a figurehead, and this guy's trying to be the figurehead, and he needs to go home because he's too drunk. So I believe that does it for this video, folks. I deeply appreciate y'all for listening, for tuning in, for leaving comments, for subscribing, for liking, all that good stuff. Yeah, until next time, I gotta restock on my juice here. I think I drank all of it. It's all gone now, so I'm gonna need more juice for the next episode. But until next time, I do bid you farewell on your cryptocurrency journey.